What is going on, everybody? I can already tell it's going to be an absolutely wondrous stream. Haven't even started, and I got people cursing me out. Just absolutely wonderful. If you're watching this video on demand, this is going to be a series where I do in the mornings. For people who are like in Europe and Asia and other side of the world who have asked me to do morning stuff so that we can hang out, talk, things like that. I don't have anything really specifically planned. If you like this, let me know. If you don't, if you find it annoying, let me know as well, because I'm going to be doing this show, and then if I do this show, I send out a video, and I do a night show. That's 3 alerts, and I don't want to overdo it, which is why I'm thinking about Twitch or Mixer or something like that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below if you're watching, or in the chat. Giving it a couple minutes. Are we going to say hi to a couple of people? Shout out to Gene Steeler UK, who has absolutely no faith in me, and Matt Whitaker. What is going on? So I'm going to be editing videos while I talk with you guys and just hanging out. And then we can talk about anything you want to. The title right now, though it may change depending on when you're watching it, was Future Empress Tilly, Terran Empire, and more. And for the most part, my focus was going to be on specifically Tilly as a character, because it seems like you either love or hate Tilly. And I don't necessarily get that. I can see her being grating at first, but I honestly think the character has started to come into her own and is one of the actual arcs they're doing right. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And again, this is me hanging out. This is me working while we're talking, because I've had some requests to do so. If you don't want me to do this, I may try to do an actual... another idea is that I might try to do an actual show. So kind of like we have on Wednesdays, maybe Monday, I'll do a show specifically dedicated where it's full on and not just hanging out. And that way both sides get what they want. Again, I don't know. What's going on, Game Pro Bros? How you doing? That's who I think it is. That's a channel I watch when I'm not working. Pretty cool channel. If it's who let me go. Let me see. Go to channel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watch your stuff. You guys are cool. Let's see. Today I'm going to be working on the Terran Empire as well. The Battle of Terrak Nor. It's funny because when you look at some of the battles, you can tell it was just like a villain of the week type thing. And so there's not a lot when it comes to lore, trying to break it down. Also, let me know how the audios go as well. If you guys like the audio, if you don't, yada, yada, yada. You know, the more I think about it, I'll probably still hang out today, but I may just do an official show. Monday, do a morning show, and then keep the Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday shows that I do. But yeah, I don't completely know. Firsty here, what's going on? Das be gone. You know, so let's talk about Discovery a little bit while I'm working. There's a couple of things about Discovery that I don't necessarily understand. So I'll look and watch some of my contemporaries who are throwing up videos. And this isn't everybody, of course, but some people seem to go crazy and talk about how good the episodes are when they come out. Now, don't get me wrong. The most recent episode, Despite Yourself, I think is a fine episode. It's above par for Discovery. But I'll look at the reviews, and they just go absolutely crazy over it. It makes me wonder, am I missing something? Are they fake, or are people just so starved for the type of videos for Star Trek that they're willing just to overlook flaws? It's really confusing to me. What do you guys think? Do you think that these shows specifically, even just Despite Yourself, let's look at the Despite Yourself episode, is it just like one of the best that's come out there and I'm crazy? Because objectively, it just doesn't seem to be that good of a show. Well, let me rephrase. Objectively, Despite Yourself is a fine episode, but there are a lot of flaws in it. I mean, you can't say it's the best show of all time. You just can't. Not and be reasonable, in my opinion. Obviously, everything is subjective. I will grant that. But still, even subjectively, I think you can admit when there are vast flaws. Next Gen is still the best, says GamePro Bros. What's going on, fam? Boyamus Prime. Started watching Discovery, couldn't really get into it. Well, let me say this, Game Boy Pros. Let me put this out there. I think that now I would be willing. I would say it's willing if you have like the $17 to go CBS All Access. Go ahead and do it, because I think now it might be worth it to catch up and see if you like it. Beforehand, I wouldn't be willing to say it's worth the money to spend. But I think there's enough there that Trek fans of all stripes can at least give it a chance. Anti-Tracker disagrees with that, by the way. He also doesn't like the paywall, which who does like a paywall, right? As SF Debris says, all scores are relative to the show, and last night's was the best of Discovery so far. I disagree with that, Von Miller. I don't think it was the best so far for me. I liked In the Forest I Go. I really thought that was a very strong showing as a Starfleet ship, as Star Trek is what... In the Forest I Go. I think it's In the Forest I Go. It was the one before this, right before the Despite Yourself. I think that was... It almost had a DS9. It had the original series meet DS9 feeling to me. It really did. Now, it has flaws of its own, obviously, but it did. I think it comes down to two things. We miss it, and Discovery takes a different approach to Star Trek. It's a fun episode and intros the mirror universe. It ain't the best, but not the worst by far. I would agree with that. The one thing that I started giving props to Discovery for, and I think even if you hate that it did this, you need to give props to it, is that it did something different. And Star Trek in the real world has always been, Star Trek in the real world has always been about doing something different. And this is definitively different. Not just this episode, but this series is definitively different. So you gotta say, hey, you did something here. By the way, I'm going to say this a little bit throughout this because people are coming and going. If you just now tuned in, let me know what you think of me doing morning shows like this where I'm working on editing the video I'm doing today and just hanging out and talking with you guys. This is kind of me trying to get to the other side of the globe so you guys don't have to be up at 3 in the morning. These are going to be unscripted, and I'm going to be somewhat distracted while talking to you because I'm working. If you like it, great, let me know. Let me know in the comments or while you're watching. Or if you prefer, I could just do one episode where it's kind of like the Geek Breakdown on Wednesday or Saturday and Sunday where I put a lot of effort into the show and it's very produced. Let me know what you guys think. My only problem or concern is that when I'm doing these, like today, like on Wednesday, if I do a morning, you'll get an alert for me hanging out in the morning, you'll get an alert for the video for that day, and then you'll get an alert for the Geek Breakdown. I don't want to spam people, so just give me your thoughts. All that to go back. This Mirror Universe talk reminds me of Shadow Mirror, that is from Super Robot Wars. Think of the TE invaded the Primeverse. I don't know if I'm aware of that show. GamePro, all right, I'll give it a shot on your recommendation. Well, cool. Great. I got CBS more money. That always makes me happy. But yeah, I mean, I would say at this point, if you are a Trek fan, you should give it a chance. I wouldn't have said that last series, but I think we've had enough good episodes that it's worth at least trying. I watch mine for free online. Got a couple of links for it. Well, I don't support that at all, Despigon. Yeah. Well, it's bad. At least you know what you're doing's wrong. I have never been... Look, CBS has stolen hundreds... No, I'm sorry. Last time I looked, thousands of dollars from me. But I always try to do things on the legit side. But, again, whatever. You do you. I'm just giving my opinion. And I'm also looking for where I put that last. Where did I put the video? Do you guys know? No, because you don't know my computer. There it is. I tried, but I'm just not a fan of Star Trek Discovery. Hey, that's fine. It's not for everybody. There are legitimate reasons to hate this and think that it's not Trek. Trust me, I get it. With you right there. Lore Reloaded, do you think they will update the looks of the Defiant? According to... the original series is my weakest point when it comes to Trek. Anti-Trekker knows it a lot better than I do. According to Anti-Trekker, and I haven't compared it... well, I have. So they have modified it or changed it a little bit. And I don't know why. They made the Constitution class look different in the Mirror Universe here, and it seems for apparently no reason. It even seems like it's more work. Do I think they'll do it more? Like, do worse than what they've done? Maybe. I don't know. I don't understand some aesthetic changes. It makes no sense. Especially when the aesthetic changes take more time than just doing it what it looked like. Where would the next generation be if we had judged it Season 1 like we judged Discovery? Von Miller says, we did judge it like we judged Discovery. And it was horrific. And if they had continued doing in Season 1, in Season 2, 3, well, they did in Season 2, too. If they continued Season 1, Season 2 into Season 3, 4, 5, it would have completely bombed and destroyed Trek. There's a reason why Season 1 of The Next Generation sucked. So it's legitimate and fair to say maybe Discovery is the same way. All that to say that I also do point that out, that every first season of a Trek series has sucked and has tanked. So the fact that it gets to Season 2 isn't a bad thing, because it might come into its own. What am I going to name this? I'm going to name this Smiley, because I'm doing the Battle of Terra Nor. Good point at Von Miller. SRW is basically a bunch of anime and manga series thrown together as a blender. Oh, huh. That's just stupid. It was from the Prime timeline, and that ship was used to win the war. Would it not be a relic propaganda piece? Says Han Solo. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think is maybe they upgraded or updated it, the Constitution class in the Mirror Universe. But from my understanding, when we saw it in... there's going to be minor spoilers. I'm not going to do any major spoilers here for Despite Yourself. But to my understanding, they were looking at their own records of the Defiant. And it looked different. And again, why would you do that? That makes no sense to me. Why would you put extra work into it? Let's see. Despigon says, isn't the most reasons why people dislike Discovery similar to the reason why people dislike DS9? I don't think so. What specifically are you trying to reference in DS9 that people would not have liked, that they don't like in Discovery? Discovery and Deep Space Nine, the first season, or any season, seem dramatically different. So I'm not sure where you'd be getting that. So I'll need you to give me a little more information. I might share my screen to let you guys see what I'm actually working on, though it's not necessarily a ton. Oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Excuse me. Sorry for getting in late, but I only just got the alert. What's up, Track 001? Yeah, they send the alerts out at different times. I think they spread them out. I'm not sure why. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. As I've said before, though, this is me just hanging out with you guys, so don't expect anything crazy. Just us having a jolly good time, as it were. And who doesn't enjoy having a jolly good time, I ask? No one doesn't enjoy having a jolly good time. There we go. Huh. That's weird. It was a black alert, in case you wondered. The alerts are weird. One thing about Discovery amuses me greatly is how the first novel influenced the show, as the author's notes on the minor characters was given to the cast members to use. I don't mind interchanging. I actually like when a universe fits together, so I think that's cool. Even if I disagree with how they put that universe together, I think it's interesting where they would do books and things. That's one thing I like about the fact that they, in Star Wars, when they got rid of the expanded universe, everything they do in Star Wars now, everything that's licensed right now, with the exception of the Old Republic, I can almost use absolutely 100% of it as alpha canon. And I think that's I wish everything did that, right? Because with Trek, there's so many different forms of canon and so many people who disagree on what canon is that it can be difficult to use these things and put them together. So I appreciate when they do things like that. Thanks for hanging out. First time on your live stream, by the way. That's one of the reasons why. And the Right Gamer says an early morning stream. Hey, I said it before. I'll say it one more time. This is a test run to see how well it does and see if this is what people want. I'm on the fence on if I should start doing one live stream in the morning a day, every weekday. A lot of people have requested it, but I think that you would get a lot of spam alerts. Well, not spam, but I think you get a lot of alerts that might make you feel like it's spam. And the morning things would be us just hanging out and talking. It really wouldn't be like what you see on the Geek Breakdown where I put a lot of effort into it. It's just me working while we talk. So let me know what you think. I may just do one show, one really uniform show, kind of like what you see in the Geek Breakdown in the mornings, but I've had a lot of people request me to do stuff so they're not up at 3 a.m. while we're doing this. So that's what I'm doing here. That's my attempt. Do you think the ISS Discovery has done what the USS crew did, as in changed the livery and the names? I do. I think it would be interesting to see the ISS Discovery in the Prime timeline. I kind of hope they do a show like that. I don't think they will, because that's a little more advanced for the type of audience that they're... Man, that's not going to sound good, but it's the truth. It's a little more advanced than what I think they're going to be going for with the audience, and I don't know that the audience would be able to keep up with it as much. So I don't know that they'll do that. But I'd be interested. At least when they get back, they see what's been done, the damage. But I think they're doing the exact same thing. Scott Musgrave, how you doing? Track 001. Would Empress Tilly not be really styled as Empress Sylvia? I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so someone got mad at me. If you scroll up, someone cursed me because they thought that it's like, thanks for giving it away. Like, thanks for having very little faith in me. I hate people that do spoiler titles. I'm not subscribed to channels. I have peers that people want me to, comment on what they do, but I won't subscribe to somebody who does spoilers like that. I just won't. Okay, Alex, I'm not sure why we're randomly cursing, but fair enough. What's going on, Nathan? What's up with you? And of course, there was the mess task got to be, as in if it was canon or not. I've always taken it. Yeah, so here's the thing. What's up, Matt? Here's the thing about the animated series. It's a prime example, in fact, that I hate. You have the animated series, and Gene Roddenberry just did not like the animated series, and he didn't like the books either. He wanted what was considered canon, what actually happened, to be anything that happened on the shows. And it had to be live action. Couldn't be animated series. And since he's Gene Roddenberry, he had a lot of sway, obviously. And so for the longest time, the animated series was not canon. Absolutely none of it, with the exception of Spock going back in time, apparently, because that's important. And then Gene Roddenberry passes away, and all of a sudden, the animated series is in. All of it's canon. Every bit of it. Everything that happened in there. Now we have holographics. We have the holodeck. Everything. But from my understanding now, there are races within the animated series that aren't owned under the Trek license and aren't owned by CBS, so they may or may not be actually canon. This is a nightmare to me. This is one of the reasons Doctor Who is the toughest thing for me to do, because you have to have writers that care about canon and own the copyright in order to do it effectively. I would assume a lore discussion on the previous episode would be an automatic spoiler alert, which only if you want to discuss what happened and theorize might happen. I didn't go into this with the intent of doing any spoilers. So if we're going to do spoilers, I'm fine, but I'm going to put that out there first, that it wasn't my intent, and we need to let people know. I mean, we can talk about the Terran Empire. The Terran Empire is... the Terran Empire is an interesting... What they've done with it is very interesting. Especially with how I think they gutted it in Deep Space Nine. It was one of the few things, well, not few, it was one of the things about Deep Space Nine I didn't like. Yeah. Yeah, Terran effed Empire. My own view is that it was non-canon, going back to Star Trek, the animated series. However, the moment events from it mentioned in Prime Timeline, it becomes canon. Yeah, that's the Star Trek Online approach, where they have soft canon. Let me see, what am I doing here? There was something someone said, and I forget. Gotta hop off, man. Great stream. Glad you enjoyed it, GamePro. Let me know if you want me to do it like this in the future, or if you only want one show, or what's going on. Thanks for coming by. Let's see. Wow, my computer's going crazy because I'm doing so much. Had to take soft canon. I think I suffered from that. Had to take pills. Horrible. Would you say gutting it in DS9 was a natural outcome of Kirk's conversation with Faux Spock at the end of Mirror Mirror? How would you have written it? Well, so everything up to what Spock did and wanting to change, how would I go from there? That's an interesting question. I wouldn't have had the Terran Empire destroyed by the Alliance. I would have probably had a civil war. Now, this is the mirror universe, and everything is mirror to what we've seen beforehand. If I was writing it, what would have happened is I would have had the Terran Empire stay in power, first off, full stop. But instead of having them do all these renovations where they're just not able to protect themselves, because that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, I would have had a civil war, probably, between Spock and the forces of quote-unquote good, and between Spock and the forces of quote-unquote good and those who wanted to keep the Empire pure. I would have had those who wanted to keep the Empire pure win. And then Spock would have escaped to form the Klingon Cardassian alliance with Terrans in there as well. And then I would have worked with that. And I would have had Bajor Southern coming out, been a major point of strife. So Tarek Nor and Bajor would have been a hotbed. The Terran Empire comes in and they start instating their rule onto Deep Space Nine. And then you have the events that you had beforehand where, you have Smiley come in and they get their freedom. And finally, Bajor is freed with the rebellion or the Klingon Cardassian alliance. And now we have a fight going on. I think that would have been very interesting to do. And they missed some opportunities in Deep Space Nine, in my opinion. What do you guys think? What would you have done? How would you have made it better? Or do you think that Deep Space Nine actually did it correctly? The best part of the Mirror Universe in DS9 was when the Defiant did a homage to the attack run on the Gunstar in The Last Starfighter. Okay. I think Spock would have tried his reforms and then been killed by subordinates and replaced. That could have happened. See, the Mirror Universe needs to stay dark, because that's what the Mirror Universe is. But I think you could have stayed dark and done something different with it and had a speck of hope. I do think you could have done both sides. What's the difference between soft canon and canon? Soft canon is a term that I've never heard of until I went and started researching Star Trek Online. And effectively what soft canon is that it's considered true until it is countered by what occurs on the TV. I have never seen any series do that except for Star Trek, and specifically Star Trek Online. It is something that I tentatively accept because I really do enjoy Star Trek Online, and it seems like that's something that CBS and Paramount, who own the IP, aren't going out of their way to counter. So it seems like they support it, at least for now. Second try, sorry, at Lore Reloaded. How did you feel about the look of the Vulcan cruiser? I hated it because it looked more Romulan. No, I thought, I'd have to go back and take a look at it, but I thought it looked like an actual Vulcan cruiser. Maybe I'll need to go take a look at it again, because when I saw it, I was like, wow, they actually did something that looked like a ship of that era. So maybe I missed it. Now, guys, here's something that's about to happen. I'm going to start rendering videos with After Effects, and that just completely gulps all of the memory of this machine. So if for any reason it shuts down, I'll be back, but it'll take me about 5 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't, because now I'm just going to sit and talk with you guys while I wait. Let's find out. All right. So far, so good. So Spock hasn't become Emperor yet? No, Spock is, and this is Deep Space Nine, so it's not spoilers, I believe Spock's dead. I think I can agree with the way you did it, but I would have had the Bajorans as this universe version of the Cardassians. Yeah, I mean, that could be interesting. So the Bajorans are a regional power, and maybe they're... So you could actually have the Bajorans as the bad guys in this, as a regional power that is like the Cardassians, but they're under the foot of the Terran Empire. Kind of I'll work with you, just don't destroy me type deal. That'd be an interesting twist on it. And then you could still have Kira as the Intendant. And I don't hate it. By the way, what do you guys think of this, just me hanging out and talking with you? Would you prefer like an actual real episode? Can you see me doing this for... once a day in the mornings, and still having me doing stuff at night? Is it too much? What are you guys' thoughts? Remember the militant and dangerous Bajorans and Parallels? I could see that happening in the Mirror Universe. That's true. Well, there is the TNG Mirror Universe story that has the Terran Empire driven back to their homeworld systems. You mean like at the Battle of Wolf 359, where it went on for 3 days and then they were destroyed and then Earth was completely destroyed? Yeah. Every day would be too much. There would be too much of me. You don't want me just hanging out with you every day? I mean, you don't want me here talking to you every day? My only problem with it is that you guys would get a minimum of 2 notifications, if not 3, in a day, because then you'd have the morning hangout, the actual video I'm uploading, and then the night time when I hang out. I might just do the nights on like Twitch or Mixer, unless I'm doing an actual show. I don't know. Flarb says, for the Mirror Universe, I would have the Earth destroyed and explore the ramifications of that. Might need a 2-parter. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll throw that in the hopper. Alex, spot the W. Relax, buddy. I might have to put you in timeout. I don't want to put people in timeout. You're catching me over Christmas break. Back to the 8 a.m. classes next week. Well, Vaughn, that's easy to fix. Quit the classes. Quit school. Dedicate everything to my channel. I think it's all going to work out fine if we do that. I'll be happy. You'll be happy. I actually would love to see Hoshi in Discovery. And I think they could get her, too. I think they could get the actress. I think that'd be very cool. If Hoshi was the power behind the throne, How awesome would that be? That they keep saying Emperor and he's mysterious and no one knows who he is. I think it'd be interesting if it was Hoshi. It'd be interesting if it was Lorca, even Michael Burnham. If she did, if they made them that. I'm not going to give any spoilers to what actually happens in the episode, but I think that'd be a turnaround. No, I mean the TNG Mirror Universe story had the Terran Empire struggling with the Alliance and working to make the E to D, which is all good things version. I don't know what you're referring to, fanboy. Phantomus Prime. I assume that's a book, because that's not in any of the shows that I'm aware of. Mirror Archer is the best Archer. I was more interested in the evil Archer in that two-parter than I was with Archer after season 5. After 5 seasons. Not season 5, after 5 seasons. Yeah, he seemed sniveling to me, though. He seemed weak. I don't know, maybe not. I quit school to watch you, Lore. I know I now live under the bridge, stealing Wi-Fi from McDonald's. Never been happier. I'm glad that I could have that impact on you, medicine for your soul. And I hope other people can find the spiritual wellness to do the same thing. So, yeah, I read the IDW version. It's the basis for the Star Trek Timelines story. Star Trek Timelines, you're talking about the game? That's something real interesting to look at. I was considering doing something based on them, but that's almost like Doctor Who. And after doing research on Star Trek Timelines, the game itself, I found some, I don't know, there was some things that just rubbed me the wrong way. Because what I like to do is I will reach out to companies if I think maybe, there's a good partnership that I can do that you guys would profit from, that you guys would like, that, and maybe giveaways that I could do as well. And with Star Trek Timelines, there's just a couple things that hit me kind of wrong with that company, and so I hadn't reached out to them. Plus, you add with that the fact that, again, their stuff is just absolutely insane to follow. I don't know that I could give it justice, because it doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason that they just threw all of these things together. Wasn't Khan the Emperor of the Terran Empire? Khan, to my knowledge, was not the Emperor of the Terran Empire. Maybe he was. I don't think he was, though. Yes, I prefer the Mirror Darkly more than any other Mirror episodes. Matt, have you seen this? Have you seen Discoveries, Despite Yourself? I don't hate what they're doing with the Mirror Universe, and I'll be very interested to see where they go. I can say I'm somewhat looking forward to the next episode, which is the first time I've ever looked forward to an episode when it comes to Star Trek Discovery. So I guess they're doing something right when it comes to that. Man, these videos take for... This thing has been done for 6 minutes, and it's still got another 10, and I got 3 rendering. Yeah, Matt Whittaker, take a look at this episode. You're not going to get too much out of it, I don't think, to make you say it's better than A Mirror Darkly, or from the Enterprise episode, but it'll set up for future episodes, and I like the way it's going. I'd like you to do live talk in the evening during the week, because I'm normally at work, maybe on the weekends early in the day, says Jason Carr. So here's my thoughts, and here's what I want to do. This, as you guys know, this is what I do for a living. I'm an entertainer. I'm here for you guys. And because of that, when I work, it's doing stuff like this. So I want to do something in the morning to hang out with my European peeps. I want to do something, I'm going to get you a video out, and then if I can, I want to game at night. I actually used to do gaming on this channel, where I would just play games and talk with people. And so I want to do that at night, except for on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays when I have official shows. What I'm trying to figure out is how to do it without spamming people. So I may do the gaming on Twitch and Mixer, respectively. So that IDW lacks a TFST crossover surprises me, as V'ger and its golden disc are the key. Okay, I remember the BSG ones I would catch with you. Oh, Nathan Norman, the Battlestar Galactica? Yeah, you've been with me for a long time, Nathan. That's right, I remember. Yeah, and I would, Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, I'd play that game, and I didn't used to the controls, and it's 3D. And if you've ever tried to play strategy in 3D, it's not the easiest thing in the world. I have my ships crash into each other, and then the AI would just all of a sudden show up and do traps and things. It was absolutely, positively a fun experience for everyone who wasn't me. What's going on, IGL Xenix? Let's see. Wasn't there only 4 seasons of Enterprise? Maybe. Was there only 4 seasons? Homeworld did it well. I miss Star Trek Bridge Commander. I loved watching the foolish AI make terrible decisions. I actually have Star Trek Bridge Commander. I intend to play it at night with you guys. Honestly, even if the AI makes horrible decisions, Bridge Commander is a nostalgic game that I loved. Oh man, how fun was it? And I think I was a teenager. I may have not been a teenager yet when it came out, but to be in control of a bridge and to be sitting in the command chair and to be giving commands, that was just awesome, man. For someone who loved Star Trek, who loved sci-fi. To feel like you were actually the captain, not just like with Armada and things. I played it with the Kobayashi Maru mod. You could do so many amazing things. I didn't know there was a Kobayashi Maru mod. I might take a look at it. I got the game installed and it works on my computer. So, at Lore Reloaded, why did Voyager want to get back to the Alpha Quadrant? Earth is in the Beta Quadrant, isn't it? Why did Voyager want to get back to... Because it's... Oh, I see what you're saying. So, Star Trek has never been consistent with its quadrants or where things are. There's actually no official map that says where everything is. We know based on episodes that the Klingon Empire is in the Beta Quadrant, and the Romulan Empire is mostly in the Beta Quadrant, possibly some Alpha Quadrant. A lot of the Federation is Alpha Quadrant. But there's never been any consistency or any map that shows us where everything is. So generally, when Star Trek does anything, they say Alpha Quadrant, and when they really mean Alpha and Beta Quadrant. If you look at in Deep Space Nine, the Dominion War, when they talked about the powers, they would say Alpha Quadrant powers, even though it's Alpha and Beta Quadrant. So Alpha Quadrant has just been the word they used when they mean Alpha and Beta, or even Beta. I wonder if Star Trek ships can do barrel rolls? They can, especially when they're shot down. Miranda's did those a lot in the Dominion War. Hate to admit it, but the only Star Trek games I've played has been Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, Legacy, and now Star Trek Online. I don't think I've ever played Legacy. I'm trying to find a game that I'm trying to find it legally, so I can install it on my computer. I'm having a little bit of trouble with that. I have never played Legacy, I don't believe. And I'd love to play Legacy because it would help me out. If I understand how Legacy works, oh man, I could actually do the battles and use that footage. So I'm tempted to try to push to find it. Why can't the Terran Empire make ships that don't match the Federation ship design? So here's my question. If Deep Space Nine is what actually happened, canon, and it is, how did they rebuild these ships exactly like Starfleet so quickly? You're telling me that after Deep Space Nine, they just went into high gear and created Sovereigns and Defiance and Acura class and Miranda. You're telling me that they instantly followed the exact same path after having been completely obliterated? Like, seriously? 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 Yeah. Yeah, it was only 4 seasons of it. Okay, that's fine. Enterprise only had 4 seasons. I've really taken the Alpha Beta Quadrant to be universally called Alpha Quadrant. It's just simple and covers the region of powers. Absolutely. That's the way they were meant to go. Yay! So I'm going to start multitasking again because it just got done rendering. But yeah, I mean, it is meant to mean both. Map question. How did the Klingons go to war with the Cardassians if they would have had to go through or around Federation to get there? The Klingons and the Federation had an alliance. It was a straight-up alliance ships, any type of ships, can enter and exit the quadrant as they like. So the Klingons just sent a fleet up there because the Federation, they had been allies for so long that they didn't question it. And remember, at Deep Space Nine, he said, "Oh, I brought all these ships to defend against the Dominion," and then they invaded. And then the Federation, once the alliance was broken, the Federation does what the Federation does and just lays down and lets the Klingons walk all over them. I'm more shocked the Terran Rebellion managed to build the Defiant class. Yeah, they did it in record time too. Funds Jag saying, I love this channel, but I'm a bit disappointed. I thought that this chat was going to be about Morn from DS9. Well, everybody knows that all roads lead to Morn. I gotta be honest though, I can't stand Morn the character. In Deep Space Nine, he talked far too much, and that was a huge issue for me. It has been said that he had, for every one line a regular cast member had, he would have like 2 or 3, and I can believe it. The dude just never shut up, and I wish they had scaled that back a little bit. But as we all know, he's actually one of the Watchers or Travelers. So, there's that. I never understood that either. They have had copied the entire Fed fleet. They did, in fact, copy the entire Federation fleet. Say, Laura, did you get the email from me as you asked re my history project? I did, Trek001. I'll respond to that. Overall, I liked it. Depending on because I've been doing this for 7 or 8 months full time now. Obviously, when I look at it, I'm like, well, there's things we could have expanded on. It was good though, and depending on what you were trying to do, I hope you got a high grade for it. Just for those who don't know, Trek001 did a thesis or a paper on the Dominion War, which was really interesting. I think it was the Dominion War. I'd have to look it up. I did read it though. I promise you that. And then there was that time that Morn got into a knife fight with a Gorn. That's true. He talks, IGL says he talks way too much. Had a chat with him in Star Trek Online. Kept me there for way too long. Yeah, I mean, it's horrific. Gorn, he talks way too much. They could have cut half of his lines, and then it would have been like a 30-minute show. It's just the truth. Oh, you got an A+? Well, congratulations. I thought it was well done. All right, what am I doing? Oh, I'm putting all of my assets together. You cheeky sods. But yeah, also, if you go by what is canon, DS9, Morn had female action than Kirk. He did. Didn't he get with Jadzia? I think Morn got with Jadzia, I believe. But then again, sometimes they didn't make Jadzia seem the most pure, so... I think the Terran Empire, I would love to see a series dedicated to the Terran Empire. I don't think they'd do it, but I think it'd be very interesting. J-Rod Murderface made it. I'm always glad when you can make it, J-Rod Murderface. Nathan Norman, I think the Federation became idiots. So 14K Leon made it as well. Here's the thing. The Federation is unlike anything we've ever seen before and is not consistent with how you would want to run a government and actually survive. So they always come off as idiots in almost everything they did. I think it's reasonable to say that because of how pacifistic the Federation was, the Dominion were able to get that much more of an upper hand on them, and it's one of the major reasons they almost lost. I think it's, even when prepared, if you remember, the Klingon Empire gave them, what was it, three days? And they said, we're going to invade in 3 days. Even with a 3-day prepared, being ready for it, they got their butts handed to them. The only time the Starfleet or the Federation ever do well outside of the original series is after they have gotten stomped for quite a while. And that's because they are so focused on being pacifistic, on being peaceful, that they're willing to almost lose and get just completely destroyed in order to give peace a chance. Here's my question. Why did DS9 have schematics on every Starfleet ship, including Sovereign class, on the station? That's the only way the Mirror Universe could have gotten the schematics. We know that Smiley, Mirror O'Brien, got the plans to the Defiant. In theory, you could say that maybe he stole the others, or that they did that. Because once finding out about the Mirror Universe, the Starfleet and the Federation really did nothing to guard against them infiltrating. And it shows, because they got infiltrated quite a few times. Sorry for typing. Joke aside, can I throw it out there that Morn's dangerous mission to get the news about the mines out to Cisco was the most important point of the war? It was a critical point. I wish they had showed it more. It would have been interesting to actually see Morn, like, concerned as Cardassians were looking over his stuff. I think that would have been interesting. Ooh. Even Admiral we met was evil to some degree. Every Admiral we met was evil to some degree. The politicians were just so stupid, so stupid. They held the idiot ball with the Dominion and the Borg. I agree. Especially Admiral Janeway. Hey-oh! Roddenberry wanted ideology, bare reality, and DS9 is where the two views fought. I do think that the most realistic version that we can hope for is Deep Space Nine. I really do. Wait, are we Solo? Wait, are we talking about the guy from Quark's Bar? Yeah, we're talking about the dude from Quark's Bar. He always sat there, and if you're confused by the fact that I'm saying he talks a lot and that he was great with the ladies, that's an inside joke from Deep Space Nine. Yeah, see, we can't talk about Janeway because everybody gets mad at me when I talk about Janeway, because apparently if I give my opinion on Janeway, I'm a horrible person. Y'all want to hear something funny? I expected this, honestly. It would be dishonest to say I didn't expect this, but I haven't looked it up, but quite a few people actually unsubscribed from the channel for the joke video that I did about Janeway and the ship being a combat vessel. It's really interesting to me how passionate people get when it comes to that stuff. I had a stalker too. My first stalker that went to the levels that he did. It was kind of intriguing, if you will. Sorry, I'm also trying to look up cool videos. Which Terran Empire do you like best, Corey 2000? I'm not sure what you're asking me. Right now, I do enjoy the Discovery Terran Empire, what I've seen of it so far. I wish they hadn't destroyed it in Deep Space Nine. That's my least like era for them. Matt Whitaker, it's funny the way you talk about her. I always like her, but I see what you mean. You know, here's my, I think Kate Mulgrew did one of the coolest, I guess, one of the coolest and best performances I've seen and enjoyed. And I think that's why I get so mad, because see, a lot of people say, well, it wasn't Janeway, it's just her writing. She is the writing, sons. She is. If the writing's bad, she's bad. Just the way it is. Don't hate the play, I hate the game. And the writing is just so inconsistent and so bad. Sometimes she does things that I think are great, and I'm like, yes, this is a captain that can handle it. A lot of the times I'm like, wow, this hypocritical individual who is going to get everybody killed or doesn't care about getting everybody killed. And that's a lot more than not, and it just frustrates me. Corey2000 says someone did a video pointing out 3 versions in alpha and beta canon. Beta canon, I wouldn't be surprised if you'll show me the different versions in alpha canon. I'll take a look. Nathan, I get the same ass for saying the Starfleet is military on forum. Yeah, I mean, it's a fandom. People get really passionate. That's why I'm not losing sleep or necessarily get too mad. Sometimes, and you know, that video was actually a response to me getting like 90 comments about how Discovery is a science ship. And I was so fed up. I just had to release. I do understand people getting passionate. I do. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that unless you're going to stalk me and find my personal email. Then I think you've went a little bit far. But I don't necessarily mind that. But after I have like 400 plus comments on that video now. And so it's really hard for me not to be dismissive when I've gotten the same complaint for the 700th time. And yeah, 700th time on 400 comments. You do the math on that one. The Federation was very naive when it came to the Mirrorverse. They have become oblivious to the fact that the Terran Empire would do literally anything to achieve their goal. I agree. I think that they made some huge mistakes, especially not defending against it. That would be a pretty big mistake, in my opinion. Oh, are you joking with me? That's going to be unfortunate. I may not have long enough. The videos I did, I may not have to do, I may not have it long enough. So the videos I've rendered may not be long enough for the overall overview of the Battle of Terran Nor that I'm doing today. Wow. I can't talk. Wasn't the Terran Empire broken once the wormhole opened a semi-stable access to that universe? No. Lore, you should eat Harry. Ha! Oh, yes, I have watched SF Debris as well, Revan. Yes, I have. And I love SF Debris, Evil Janeway. Absolutely. I think Smiley sent Terran agents to Mars shipyards. I think he would too. That seems like something Smiley would do. Wasn't the... we already read that. Anyone seen How William Shatner Saved the World? I have not seen that. I like William Shatner. I've actually met him. He's a pretty nice guy. The Anti-Tracker has his signature. Got a... whatever. Signed thing. In his heyday, he could be a little egotistical and definitely a little handsy. You should see the captain's chair. Or when he... interviews all the captains and everything, he was far, far too handsy with Kate Mulgrew, in my opinion. And you can even see she brushes his hand off. Overall, I like William Shatner, though. He's a really nice guy. I think it was an honor to have met him, I think. I haven't been enjoying Discovery, if I'm honest. It's been a bit jarring for me when I see Klingon ships, and it takes me out of every time I see them, says Nathan. Yeah, them completely changing Klingons can be jarring. I can understand not liking it for that. I am not as upset about that as I used to be, simply because I look at what they did in the original series, both how it looked from the season of the original series to the movies, and then from the movies to the Next Generation, and then even from the Next Generation to Deep Space Nine. Now, from the movies to TNG to DS9, it's just very small changes, but they're still changes nonetheless. So, I don't get too mad about it anymore, I'll be honest with you. I just don't think they're written well. A story idea I had, thanks to SF Debris review of the last episode of season of TNG, was that they found the 3rd Street Saints from Saints Row. Okay. We would have cell phones and iPods and iPads and things like that if Star Trek didn't exist. We would. Because those things were already in development. But I think that Star Trek inspired people to make those things better, and I think it was ahead of its time. So I do think that it inspired people to make stuff, but I don't think that it's completely the reason we have it. Lore, would a Mirror Universe Voyager be more or less destructive to the Delta Quadrant? Would a Mirror Universe Voyager? See, that's going to get me in trouble. I think a Mirror Universe Voyager would probably have nothing but like flowers, and its phasers would cure cancer and things like that. So I can't say that that I would think a Mirror Universe would be horrible. Mirror Universe Janeway would be more like the Living Witness Janeway, or if a nice one. Trek 001, Lord, did you see my earlier comment? I don't think I did. If you can re-say it. And guys, if you want me to definitively see your comments, first off, super chats. It helps keep the show up. But if you don't want to do super chats, then do @LoreReloaded, all one word, and it actually pops up in a special little color that I see. Back to the Future owes me a hoverboard. It owes all of us hoverboards. LOL, Janeway, savior of the Delta Quadrant. I will say that I think that so here's my interesting thing that I would say is that I think how they would write it would be Warship Voyager. If you haven't looked, look it up on YouTube or watch the episode. I forget what it's called, where where the Doctor shows up, and it's been like several millennia or something, and he's now in this museum, and they have just Voyager, like they have their own strike team of Borg. I think that's what it would be. I seriously think that that is how they would write Mirror Universe Voyager. And if they made me the writer and I had to make it consistent with what they think that the Mirror Janeway should be, that's how I'd write it. What would Mirror Universe Lore Reloaded be like? Probably a lot more professional and, a lot more handsome is what I would say. Secret thought, Naomi Wildman was recruited via the Pathfinder Array by Section 31. Mother of God. Mother of God. Mirror Universe Janeway wouldn't have destroyed the Caretaker's Array. No, I think she would have took it over and probably taken over the Delta Quadrant. Lore Reloaded is saying that you enjoyed the motion picture uniforms, having each service branch was their own color, a bad thing. Having each service branch as their own color is a good way to get people killed. So I don't consider it a good thing, especially when you're some form of a military, or at least are called in when battles occur, because that's how you get people killed. In fact, in World War II, they would clearly mark their officers, and officers would get killed. So, yeah, I think that clearly marking what you do with colors, especially like bright red, bright yellow, things like that, muted blue, is a good way to get people killed. I'm just saying. Peoples. I will give Voyager something. They had some good one-off aliens. I still love the Prelor AP. There's a lot Voyager had that was good. You know, people think that I hate everything about Voyager. I don't. I think the writing's inconsistent if you look at it from an overall work. That said, I do enjoy a lot of the Voyager episodes. I even enjoy a lot of Janeway episodes. I think there's a lot of things Janeway does right. More wrong than right, but there's a lot of things that she does right. And I think they have some stellar characters when it comes to the Doctor. I think the Doctor made that show. I like Tom Paris. When you really look at Tom Paris, I like Tom Paris. He's a more in-depth character than people give him credit for. Bailana doesn't do much for me. 7 of 9 is fine. She has some good episodes. She's not all of it for me. Can't stand the cook. I don't like him so much that I forget his name right now. Neelix. Not a huge fan of Neelix. Cass I didn't really get involved in. Harry, I forget the name of his character, but man, I'd like to meet that guy in real life. He seems just like a jovial, nice, good dude to hang out with. So I think that's cool, but Harry didn't do a lot for me. I think they missed a lot of opportunities with Harry, and if what I understand happened in the background actually happened, I think he got screwed over, because there was a lot of things they could have done with his character, especially with time travel, that would have been done really well. Think about it. Naomi had nearly unlimited access to all areas of the ship, as evidenced by the computer accepting her command to take her to the bridge in Once Upon a Time. You're right. Naomi was a Section 31 agent. Proved. I'm going to do a lore thing on it. It's done. Terran Empire Section 31. Terran Empire Section 31. That's an interesting thing. I think they'd be even more evil. I think that they wouldn't be righteous or anything. I think they would be even more evil. What's going on? Tron is Chess Chaos. Was up in the house. All things Xbox. Yeah, if you look into the background, so he says he was screwed over. Harry was screwed over. Harry's actor, there was a lot of animosity in the background, and that showed with his character on screen, and he didn't get opportunities that other actors did. And I think it was, of the evidence I did, I think it was vindictive, and I think they didn't do him right. Corey 2000, which non-Vulcan aliens would you like to have found humanity first? Not Klingons, not Romulans, not Ferengi, not Cardassians. That doesn't leave a lot, does it? Maybe the Denobulans, maybe the Orions would have been an interesting thing. I don't know, it depends on the writing. I think Romulans would have been interesting, but not good for almost all of the others wouldn't be good for humanity. Orions would be interesting, Romulans would have been interesting. I don't think there's much with Klingons. I don't think there's a lot you could have done with... Well, there could have been a lot you could have done with Klingons, but... No, Trek 001, I'm not doing a Section 31 Naomi. I was joking. Fanboy is Prime at Lore Reloaded. I really wonder if the Gothic novel would be amusing if it was an alien instead of Janeway, and possibly a tank used on things. I don't remember that. Don't remember reading that. So they're talking about I think the Trek uniforms at the end of Deep Space Nine is how you need to do it, because those don't really give away who or what you are, and it would take more time. So I would say that the end Deep Space Nine is how they did it. And I love those. My character on Star Trek Online actually has that, because I think that makes sense. Tellarites meeting. There's one I didn't think about. Tellarites meeting United Earth first would be a very chaotic universe at that point. Well, the Kzinti, did that happen? See, that was kind of the thing I was talking about. They're not owned by the licensing apparently isn't owned. It was historically a part of it, but now it may not be. So I don't know. That's one of the things I have an issue with. I'm going to have to render more video. That makes me upset. Yeah. Let's see. Battle of Terran. Battle of Terran. No. I'd have to rewatch the Samaritan Snare episode to see what if they First Contact had been with the Palatians. Off the top of my head, I'm not completely aware of what you're talking about. I'd want to rewatch it. God bless you, clipconverter.com. Alright guys, we're going to be ending it pretty shortly. As I said beforehand, let me know. Do you want me to do daily stuff like this? So I've thought about and considered doing a morning where I just hang out and chat while I'm working. You get your usual episode, like you're getting the Battle of Terra Nor today, which you guys got to watch that. And doing a night where I game. But my concern is that would spam, because if you'd be receiving an alert, that's 3 alerts, and that's assuming I don't do anything on the community tab. So I think it may be too much. Let me know your thoughts, both in the chat right now and in the comments below. Because I'm on the fence. What I'll do is I may do one morning show, like an official show. And then, if I'm willing, I'll do Twitch or Mixer. And that way you're not getting 1,000 alerts. Makos would have been needed in the war. Too bad the feds are idiots and said we're no military and got rid of them in the Dominion War, I'd assume. I agree. I would love you doing some battle rethinks, how you would have fought the wars in Star Trek with your knowledge. See, I've been thinking about that. Tron is Chess Chaos. I've been thinking about doing battle breakdowns fixed. Like the battle of the... I want to say Gargantuan, but that's not what it's called. The Gagarin. The Battle of the Gagarin, how I would have fought that. I think that would have been interesting. Because I don't think Lorca was an idiot. And I think he did what he could based on his military experience and, with the adrenaline in the time. But I think he could have actually saved the Gagarin. I would have been very interested. I would have loved if they had done it right. Because I think that, if you remember, now this is some spoilers for Discovery, but I have a battle breakdown of the battle with the Gagarin. And what he tried to do is defeat all of the Klingon ships, because so the Gagarin is getting the hell beat out of it by Klingon ships, right? And their warp drive is down, and they're actually using cloaks, and they're outnumbered 2-1. You have the Discovery and the Gagarin, and about again 8 to 10 Klingon ships. So what Lorca was doing is he was trying to take the hits for the Gagarin so that it could fix its warp drive. So anytime they fired on it, they would unload on any ship that would focus on the Gagarin, and then if they fired on the Gagarin, it would try to jump in front of the torpedoes. And it was getting to the point that the Discovery was going to start taking massive amounts of damage. And what I think they needed to do is, on the Gagarin, he should have, once he realized warp drive was down, he should have, if this is the Gagarin and it's pulling right there, he should have taken the hits as well, but brought the Discovery right above the Gagarin, like this, right? And so you have keep his top shields up, and have the Gagarin keep their bottom shields up, because you can do that, and then transport all of the crew onto the Discovery and get the hell out of there. So I've been thinking about doing like a fixed battle thing. Why, thank you, Morph. I like my voice. I just want you not to burn yourself out. If I'm starting to get burned out, I'll scale it back. Don't worry. I listen to myself, and if something is too much, I'll stop doing it. But again, I'm an entertainer by trade. This is what I do for a living. So I focus wholly on this, and I have a lot of time that I can. Battle of the Stars rethink would be needed. Feds got the butts handed to them. Yeah, I'd have to rethink that one a lot. The Federation was in a bad way, even with reinforcements. They were in a bad way. I'm not sure how you would have been able to win that one. And firing first wouldn't have done much. Wouldn't have helped at all, honestly. It would have only gotten you killed. Because that's just stupid. You don't fire. Anyway, yeah. Any last questions before I head out, my peeps? And by the way, you have an awesome voice. Oh, you actually subscribed for my awesome voice. Well, good. Good. Welcome to Days of Our Lives. Trek 001 points upwards. Dude, you haven't... You gotta put my name in or I don't see it. Jim Hadar versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, there we go. That's what I'm gonna do. Even Germans love your channel. But yeah, I think that's really cool. I never expected to be able to do this full time. I'm so utterly humbled by that. And it's really cool, and I really love that I have a channel where we sit down and we just talk about stuff. I think that's really awesome. And it's just so cool that people from other countries are requesting stuff too. And I'm really honored that someone from another country would find my stuff enjoyable. I mean, I'm honored that anybody would find it enjoyable in or outside the country. It's just really cool to think that outside of my borders, people are watching as well. And I've had requests to do fan fiction, to even write my own series or do something like Axanar. And once you guys send me $200,000 to put that together, plus $200,000 to fight against the CBS lawsuit, then I might consider it. You guys do love the rethinks and the lore craft, so I will do more of that. And that's surprising to me. I'll say this. It's surprising to me that people would be very interested in my fan fiction of how I would do fights or my own even series of my own stuff. And I may do more of that the more I get requests for it. If you could have one prop from any Star Trek show, what would it be? I'm going to have to think about that one. Because there's a lot of props I would actually enjoy having. I think it'd be cool to have one of the display plates on the bridges, an actual prop from it, not a recreation. I don't know. I want to say there is one that I really wanted, but I'll have to think about it. I'll get back to you on that. By the way, I am going to do Morphtron says that I'd love to his battle statistics from different ships. I'm actually doing a complete. I've partnered up with Moss Eagle. I think. Let me get their name right. Moss Eagle Starship Miniatures, because I don't think that's the name of it. And I'm sure they love the fact that I got their name wrong. Give me a second. Star Trek miniatures ships. Eagle Moss. How did I forget that, man? I've partnered up with them. Eagle Moss. I've gotten a partnership with Eagle Moss. They're going to be sending me miniatures, and these are actual collectibles. And I'm going to be doing a full breakdown, lore breakdown, a statistic breakdown of the ships themselves. So the first one I'm going to do is Voyager, because they came out with their Voyager XL series, and that's going to be the one that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to do a live stream like this, talking about it, and then an actual lore breakdown. And that's exactly what I want. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get. It would be a great highlight of my life if I could get the actual prop used for the Treaty of Bajor. When the Dominion lost, I would pay so much money for that, to get the Treaty of Bajor, that actual prop. Going back, the series, and I will be doing. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be going with what's commonly accepted, even though I may disagree with it to a degree. So some of the Voyager stuff is going to be based on what the designer has said, the Akira, what the designer has said, simply because even though I don't think there's evidence for it, it's in the common culture so much that I guess they would do that if they had it. I'd love to have a ship model of the Enterprise E. I just love the looks of the Sovereign class. Well, I'll be doing a giveaway where I'll be giving any model you want away. So you need to come to those to be a part of the giveaway. Maybe you'll win it. All right, guys, that's going to finish it up. As you can tell, my voice is going out. I also have to finish this video. I got to render and get it out to you lovely people. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do like a videos in the morning. I'll probably end up switching it up between doing it live on my YouTube channel and doing it on twitch.tv or Mixer. I'll do twitch.tv to do Star Trek Online because they actually host me on their channel, so I can't do any other game. And I'll do Mixer for other games. Those are just going to be us hanging out. And we'll just see where it goes from there. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded. And if you are a usual comer, if you're a regular, you know this is the point where it gets a little awkward because there's a delay and I want to make sure VOD gets the Lore Reloaded part. So now I'm just going to continue to talk until it cuts